welcome back. It's episode 35 on Tech Headlines Today, where we bring you the top tech headlines in an easy listening podcast. Check out the show links in the description if you hear anything that you'd like more information about. Subscribe and follow if you haven't yet, and let's get into it. Get ready for faster game load times with direct storage for Windows. Microsoft today released a new Windows feature that will let game companies use the latest storage devices to speed up and even eliminate load times for PC games. The feature is based on Microsoft's game loading velocity architecture technology found in the Xbox Series X. Direct storage is designed to fully leverage the higher bandwidth on today's NVMe SSD drives, which have become common across consumer PCs. Microsoft's new Direct Storage API for PCs will optimize the data processing for faster loading times and also free up the CPU. The most noticeable improvements are for games installed on NVMe SSDs, starting with PCI Gen 3. Microsoft's Direct Storage API works better on Windows 11 than on Windows 10 due to legacy storage stacks in the older OS. Amazon wins EU approval for its $8.45 billion purchase of MGM. The European Commission ruled that Amazon's bid to buy famed movie and TV studio MGM is not likely to reduce competition in the theatrical film and audiovisual content markets. The Commission found that MGM's upstream activities as a producer and licensor of AV content are limited compared to other market players' activities. MGM's content cannot be considered as must-have, and a wide variety of alternative content exists, the EC added. It noted MGM's movies account for a limited share of box office revenue in the European economic era, and that overall, MGM is not among the top production studios, despite its rights over successful film franchises such as James Bond. Amazon still needs approval from the FTC before it can close the deal with MGM. However, the FTC could challenge the deal with an antitrust lawsuit, which requires a majority vote by commissioners. Who's responsible if a Tesla on Autopilot kills someone? NYU law expert Mark Giesfield examines the first criminal prosecution of a driver using a driver assist system and the landmark legal precedent it sets. In late 2019, Kevin George Aziz Riyad's car sped off a California freeway, ran a red light, and crashed into another car, killing 2 people inside. Riyad's car, a Tesla Model S, was on autopilot. The Los Angeles County prosecutors filed 2 charges against Riyad, now 27. The case is also the first criminal prosecution of a crash involving Tesla's autopilot function, which is found on over 750,000 cars in the US. Meanwhile, the crash victim's family is pursuing civil suits against both Riyad and Tesla. Microsoft experiments with ads in Windows 11 File Explorer. Microsoft seems determined to include ads wherever it can in Windows 11, and the latest test sees them appear in File Explorer. The ads were spotted by Twitter user @Flobo09, or just Florian, who has access to the latest Windows 11 Insider build, and posted a screenshot of how the ad appears in File Explorer. A bar pops up above the list of files in Explorer and includes a Learn More button, which no doubt triggers Microsoft Edge to load. In this case, a promotional page displayed from Microsoft Editor. As Thurrott reports, Florian is already a user of Microsoft Editor, which made this ad rather pointless. For a company so focused on getting its carbon footprint to zero, serving ads to millions of Windows 11 installations makes little sense. And is there a single Windows user out there who wants this? If there is, I have yet to meet them. Lawsuit claims Google diverted customers and profits from restaurants. A Florida restaurant group is suing Google for allegedly nabbing online food orders instead of directing them to the restaurant owner's site. As Ars Technica reports, the lawsuit was filed by Left Field Holdings LLC, which operates the Lime Fresh Mexican Grill franchise. It accuses Google of using bait-and-switch tactics to trick customers into placing takeout or pickup orders through new unauthorized and deceptively branded web pages. Google is accused of directing potential customers to its own site, cloaked in the imprimatur of the restaurant, without labeling its own services as such. Google routes your order to a delivery provider like DoorDash, Grubhub, or Postmates, and that app charges the restaurant a fee for delivering your food. Google defends itself against the lawsuit by saying it only provided tools for merchants to indicate whether they support online ordering or preferred a specific provider. Intel picks Germany for Silicon Junction. Intel's Pat Gelsinger sees Magdeburg as the hub for a revitalized European chip industry. Intel has picked Magdeburg, a city in the north of Germany, as the destination for a mega fab that will employ 3,000 specialists with an initial investment of roughly 17 billion euros. The site will represent what CEO Pat Gelsinger called the Silicon Junction for its ambitions on the continent. Gelsinger announced the decision, a result of a project that took a year to find a suitable European site. Intel's Arc GPUs for laptops launch March 30th, starting with Arc A370M. Intel will introduce the first Arc GPU at an event on March 30th. The company will also release a discrete graphics chip named the A370M. The A370M offers up to 2 times performance improvement over the integrated graphics in the laptop and can double the frame rates on Metro Exodus. Intel plans to make Arc graphics cards compatible with the top 100 applications and top 200 games, and to publish the numbers of games each model can play at 1040p or 1440p resolution at medium or high quality settings. Intel is aiming to bring its technology to mobile devices first. They will show off some Arc-powered laptops on a webcast at the end of the month. ARM to cut up to 15% of jobs following failed takeover by NVIDIA. British chip designer ARM is cutting up to 15% of its workforce, just a month after a $40 billion takeover from chipmaker NVIDIA collapsed. The UK-founded company designs the microchips found in billions of electronic devices, including Apple and Samsung smartphones. It was bought by the Japanese conglomerate SoftBank in 2016 for $23.4 billion. ARM is planning on going public after its takeover by NVIDIA collapsed. Like any business, ARM is continually reviewing its business plan to ensure the company has the right balance between opportunities and cost discipline. Unfortunately, this process includes proposed redundancies across ARM's global workforce, an ARM spokesperson said. Starbucks to offer EV fast charging with your coffee from Seattle to Denver. If you drive an electric vehicle and enjoy drinking coffee, you'll soon be able to use Volvo and ChargePoint EV fast chargers at 15 Starbucks locations along a 1,300-mile route between Seattle and Denver. Volvo plans to monitor how popular its chargers are, and Starbucks will see if they result in more customers purchasing coffee while they wait. Starbucks revealed the pilot as part of a wider announcement about its planet-positive goals for 2030. One of those goals is to reduce waste by 50% by 2030, and a new reusable cup program is being introduced in 6 markets to help achieve that goal. By the end of 2023, Starbucks will support the use of personal reusable cups at every location across the US and Canada. Thank you for joining us for another episode of THT. Help us out by sharing the podcast on your social media. We'd really appreciate it. Check out the show links for additional information on any of the topics that we covered today. Subscribe, follow, do all the things, and we'll see you tomorrow.